Goals. All right. Y'all know what time it is, man. Let's get this thing in. Let's get this thing in. What's going on Instagram? What's going on Facebook? What's going on LinkedIn? What's going on YouTube? I ain't done the TikTok thing yet, but we might be getting this. We might do it. I don't know. We're going to see. We might do it. But today we're talking about goals. Here's the question. How are those 2022 goals going? It's February. Yes, I'm talking about those goals we set back in January, those ones that we were all excited about. Question is how are we doing on those goals? This is a checkup. This is a check-in. This is a check-in with the doc. How are we doing on those goals? Yes, those 2022 goals we was all excited about. How are we doing on those goals? Today is a check-in because I'm going to be talking about one of the most overlooked reasons why people, me, you, us, why we fail to reach our goals. One of the most overlooked reasons why we fail to reach our goals. So here's the challenge. Let me just go ahead and dive in on this thing. Here is the challenge, is that many of us have fallen off the wagon already. It's February. There's a crazy stat, and I can't remember when I read this stat, but 92% of people who set a goal in January do not hit the goal that they set for that year. That means that only 8% of people who actually set a goal, and we're talking about the people who actually set a goal, because most people won't set a goal. But if you're listening to this podcast, if you are watching this video, you're not one of those people who didn't set a goal, because the people I talk to, the people I like to work with, the people who I do this podcast for are high achievers. People who are looking to make big moves in the world. I'm talking about world changers, impact makers. We at the very least gonna make a goal. But for many of us, only 8, for many of us, we're falling in that 92%. And it's February. So the question is, how you doing with the goal? So the challenge is that many of us are not achieving our goals, even high achievers. Like, let's be real. Right? I like to consider myself a high achiever. There's goals that I haven't hit in my past. There are goals that I'm still struggling to hit right now, that I'm still, really going after. They may not be happening the way I envision they happen, right? We still mortal. We high achievers, but we still mortal. But the question is, well, first of all, before we even get to what the question, the challenge is this, is that there's some goals that we're not achieving. There are 3 things that I often talk about when it comes to goals that we're set and going after. Either goals in our business, goals when it comes to our body, or goals in terms of building healthy relationships. And so we often set the business goal and we don't hit the mark. We set the business goal, we don't make the income that we wanted to. We set the business goal, we don't achieve what we wanted. We set the goal for our body to lose the weight. We set the goal to get in shape, don't hit it. We set the goal to build healthy relationships with our wives, with our kids, don't do it, and we fall off the wagon. Oftentimes as early as just a month after we set the goal. And unfortunately, this brings about feelings of, one, we get in our feelings, right? Then we have feelings of failure. We feel like we've let ourselves down, we've let others down, and we have this feeling of frustration. It gets us frustrated, and you know what I'm talking about. There ain't a single person who's listening to this or watching this who don't know what I'm talking about in terms of like a goal that has been a major challenge in one of those 3 areas: business, body, or building healthy relationships. It might be more than one of those areas. Either way, I get it. Now, here's the deal. One of the main mistakes one of the main mistakes that most people make when setting goals is that they worry more about how they're going to achieve the goal than actually focusing on what the goal is. I'm gonna say that one more time. One of the main mistakes that we make when setting goals is that we worry more about how we're going to achieve the goal. Let me tell you, man, the word how when it comes to goal achievement is like poison. And we're going to talk about that today, right? Worrying about how is it just poison to our goal. When you worry more about how, it creates more worry. Because here's the deal, if you knew how to achieve the goal, you would have done it already. So here's what happens. You worry about how, what are the steps, what are the processes that I have to do? And you start realizing that you don't know how to achieve the goal. And so that creates fear. It creates a fear of failure. So guess what? You don't really set a goal to stretch you now, because when you start thinking about the goal that you actually want, you immediately start thinking about how, and how you don't know how to do it. And so therefore you don't even set a goal of something that you really want. And then we wonder why we're not where we want to be, because we're not setting goals to where we want to be, because we're worried too much about how we're going to do it. Worrying about how we're going to do the goal creates fear. It creates doubt. Because as soon as we try to logically go through, like, how in the world am I going to make that income goal? Like, how in the world am I going to make this body transformation goal? Like, how in the world am I going to be able to get this relationship back on track? How am I going to be the husband that I want to be right now? You immediately go to, like, I don't know how it's going to happen. So you're like, man, I got to set a goal, but then you set something that's so simple, or you don't even set it because the emotions of fear and doubt set in. And let me tell you something. Your emotions drive your decisions. Let me say that again. Your emotions drive your decisions. So if you setting a goal and you thinking about how and it's getting you disappointed or fearful, you're not going to want to set a goal, because that emotion is driving the decision, right? So so now you don't even set the goal, because the emotion that you get from the fact that you're not even setting something that you really want, because you're too worried about how, right? This affects what goal we actually set, because we end up settling. We don't set a goal, we settle for a goal. We don't set a goal, we settle for one. How in the world are we going to get to where we want to go if we don't set the goal for what we actually want? And listen, I get it, right? This is the same thing I did for years, right? I guess I got to set a goal. It's a new year. So let me go ahead and set this goal. But I'm not setting goals that stretch me, right? And then I'm end up frustrated. Set the body transformation goal. Yo, I want to get down to this amount of body fat. I want to make some big things happen with my body transformation. Don't happen. I might say the goal, but I'm not really serious about the goal. I might say the business goal, but I only say it because it sounds good. But ultimately, I'm settling for a goal, not setting a goal. Feeling stuck, feeling frustrated, feeling disappointed, knowing I'm not going after what I really should be going for. You know what I'm talking about. And so it was once I figured out this one thing, it was this one thing I figured out. And it's not focusing on how, okay? It's not focusing on how, which is what we usually do. It was that instead of worrying about how I'm going to achieve the goal, it was focusing more on what is the goal that I actually want. Not focusing on how, but focusing on what. What I mean is this: clarity of your goal is more important than the course to get there. Say that again. Clarity, crystal clear clarity, being able to know exactly what you want, clarity of your destination is far more important than the course of action to get there. Because if you knew the course, you would have already taken it. But oftentimes the reason why we can't even get the course is because we're not clear on the destination. So check this out. It's like a GPS. When I think about goals now, it's like a GPS. If you just try to put in your GPS, I want to go west, that sucker is going to try to find West Street. It wants clarity. Your GPS wants the address. It wants the name of the street. It wants the zip code. It wants everything because it knows that once it's clear on where it's going, it can figure out the rest from there. Matter of fact, when you put something in your GPS, you don't worry about it. You set it, right? You set it, and then that's it. You just like, I just need the address. And that's how the mind works. It just needs an address, but it needs a very crystal clear address. So we got to get crystal clear on where we want to go. Just like a GPS. It's like aiming after a target. If you're not clear on the target, there's no way you can hit it. Right? If you're not clear on what you're aiming for, there's no way you can hit it. So we got to get crystal clear and worry more about the destination than we do how we're going to get there. Here's what's crazy. When you look at the Bible, right? When you look at the Bible and all of these examples of people who had a goal, the destination was always clear. The destination, like what needed to happen, is always clear. Yo, promised land. Okay, promised land. That's it. Like, let's go. Promised land. But what stumbled people? How are we gonna get there? Am I the person? What am I supposed to tell them when I get there, God? Like, what am I supposed to do? How are we gonna get there? That was always what stumbled them. Wanted to know step by step. And if they didn't know step by step, well, it was always hesitant to try to take a move. But the destination was always clear. So check this out. Here is what kind of the main thing I want you to get from today is this. Clarity is more important than course. Clarity of where you're going is more important than course. It's time to get clear. There's one question that I want you to answer from listening or watching today. There's one thing that I want you to answer. And it is this: what do you want? What do you want? It's time to get clear, crystal clear, because if we're going to go after something and we're going to spend time on this earth, it might as well be going after something that's worth it. And if we're going to possibly fail at something, it might as well be something big. If I'm going to be disappointed about not hitting something, it better be something that was worth it. What do you want? Not to mention, what you focus on expands. When you focus on how, and you know right now you don't know how, which is okay, that doubt begins to increase in your mind. It expands. But when you focus on what you want expands. But you got to get clear on what you want. Course will make its way. It'll happen. Okay? But you got to get clear. You got to get specific. There's a few things that you got to do when it comes to those goals, whether it's your business, whether it's your body, whether it's building healthy relationships. You got to get specific. It's got to be measurable, right? And it's got to be time-based. And when you get clear on this goal, when you answer these questions, here's the first thing I need you to understand is that we're simply setting a destination. Your goal is a destination. It's not an examination. It's not a pass-fail. All we're setting is a destination. You don't get nervous whenever you put an address in the GPS. You're just setting the destination. So when you set this goal, it's not time to get nervous. The reason you get nervous is you're worried about how. How am I going to do it? Don't worry about how. Just completely eliminate that. How is poison. Matter of fact, we're going to flip how to our good here in a little bit. Right? But I need you to understand all we're doing is setting a destination. It's not an examination. It's not like, oh my gosh, it's pass, fail. We beat ourselves up if we didn't hit the goal at the right time. Think about it. How many times you've been late somewhere? You didn't beat yourself up because you got there late, but guess what? You got there. Second thing is don't negotiate. Don't negotiate on answering this question what you want. Do not negotiate the answer. It is time for you to go for what you actually want. But it has to be crystal clear. It has to be specific. It has to be measurable. Put how much weight you want to lose by a certain time, how much money you want to make by a certain time. Put it on there. Make sure it stretches you and stop worrying about how. And don't negotiate on what the answer is. And here's the deal. You are not responsible for the how right now. Let me say that again. You are not responsible for the how right now. You are responsible for where. And where is answering the question, what do you want? That's the destination. You are responsible for where, not how. The last thing I want you to do is this. Every time you think about the word how, every time you see the word how, you got to flip it. I need you to look at the word how like it is a scrambled word because it is. It is there to trip you up. Every time you see the word how, I want you to see the word who. Same letters, H-O-W, but I need you to switch them around. W-H-O, who. How will slow you down. Figuring out who you need to help you get there will speed you up. So every time you see the word how, I need you to flip it. Flip the word how. Every time you see like, man, how am I going to do this? Immediately flip that to who's going to help me? Who can I get to help me? Now, I want you to imagine what it would feel like to be able to set your goals without fear or worry. You understand? To be able to set crystal clear goals down to almost how it, not even almost, to set goals with how they feel, how it would feel for you to get it, what it looks like, tastes like, who's around you when you achieve it. That clear. Imagine what it would feel like to set goals without fear, worry, or doubt. Imagine what that feels like. It gives you a sense of focus, extra focus. Eliminate distraction. Focus accelerates what you're doing because it eliminates distraction. It gives you a feeling of moving faster. But ultimately, it gives you freedom. It gives you freedom to actually go after it is that what you want, the assignment that you actually have. So here's what I need you to understand. Time to get clear, and that clarity is way more important. Clarity of your goal is way more important than the course to get there. Let's get clear. All right. Who we got with us today? Let's go. Let's go. I'm still trying to learn how to work this, how to work the camera. So forgive me. Listen, make sure you guys get clear. For those of you who are looking for more information on how to actually have transformation in your life, I always speak, this is specifically for high achieving men, how to succeed at your business and career without sacrificing your fitness, your family, and your faith. If you're looking for more information on how to do that, make sure you subscribe to the podcast, Elite Performance with Dr. Brad, on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. You guys have a blessed evening, and I will see you guys next time. See you guys on the next episode. Man, me just saying next episode reminds me of this Super Bowl halftime show. man, for anybody who grew up in my day and age, I was jamming. It's been the only halftime show I've watched in the last 20 years that I think was worth watching. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Anyway, y'all have a blessed evening, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.